Vinyl community, I'm back to do a new sort of video. I'm not going to show any physical records this time. I'm just going to show you virtual records. Is that even a thing? It's like this. I just scored my all-time biggest Wantlist item. Like my all-time... Where to go after you scored your all-time biggest want. It's a super grail. And I'm going to show you that in a later video, obviously. But it got me thinking, like, what is my top wants right now? Today I have 1,300 records on my want list on Discogs. 1,300, and some are different pressings of the same record and stuff like that. So what I thought was, I picked the 30 plus absolute top wants. Hopefully I can add one or two of these this year to my collection. I thought of like just take records that I actually can get, like realistically I can get in a year's time, and maybe there's one or two that is, I mean, they're dream records, but I think most of them are like, maybe I could get one or two of these with some sort of trades and stuff like that. Maybe. This is inspired by PsychEDerek. He did a video a couple of months ago, I think August. Just exactly the same, like this. But he also adds sound samples. I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy. So check his out before you continue with this one, because his is better. I know that I saw a video with Noble Records, Dylan also. So it kind of also got me thinking. So I'm not going to take credit for this sort of video. I'm just copying what others have done already. And before I show records here, obviously, if you have any of these, you don't want them anymore, or you think that you can trade them or sell them, please let me know. Okay, so the first one is an ice relic. Is that even the word? Yeah, Jericho at least. Doesn't matter which press. I think there's a UK press that I'm looking for. And I think that the cover is pretty delicate, so it's often like a VG copy on the cover and stuff like that. But this is a huge one. It's heavy psych. Great record. This is pretty unattainable. This is Stark Reality. And this was released in 1970. So it's the title of the record is Hoagie Carmichael's Music Shop. I'm reading here. Psychedelic Jazz, just freak out jazz, really. And it's insane, but it's also very, very expensive and hard to get. There have been copies in circulation here in Sweden, so it seems to be a record that ended up in Sweden for not some weird reason. So I mean, fingers crossed one day. This is also an obvious choice. I have a reissue from 2003, I think, of this Captain Beefheart, Safe as Milk, but I want if not a first press, an early press, at least a 60s press of this classic record, because my 2003 issue sounds like shit, and I want that sort of, you know, the feeling in the stomach when you have something old. And yeah. Next one also, Psych Monster Gandalf, very expensive nowadays, 1969. I mean, fingers crossed, but I don't think I'll add this to the collection this year. Great record. Okay, so this is sort of a folk psych record. Mark Bryerly, Welcome to the Citadel, 1968 on CBS Records. And I think, in my opinion, this is sort of almost like a private pressed record. It's a major label, but it sounds like it's private pressed, if you know what I mean. That sort of feeling you get when you listen to a private pressed record. I get the feeling of that too. And the cover, I mean, shit. I was so close of trading this just a couple of weeks ago, but it fell through. He wanted too many of my records, so I couldn't do it. But yeah, that would be nice. This has been on my want list for so long, and it's not like super rare, but I wanted with this cover. This is Goblin it's the soundtrack to Dawn of the Dead from 1978, I think. With this cover, it's not unattainable. It's like a maybe 40, 50, 60 euro record, something like that. But I've never seen it in the wild, and I never like pulled a trigger online. So I'm still waiting for that sort of sweet deal on this one. But the music is so good. Okay, the next one, Pat Kilroy, Light of Day, 1966 on Elektra, major label artist. This is said to be the first acid folk record. And I think that maybe half of the songs are really good and half of the songs is just okay, but it's such an iconic and important piece. So you want it in your collection. You can get it for like 30, 40, 50 euro also in pretty good condition. If you like wait for that sweet deal, you know. So hopefully maybe I can add this year. This is a private press. This has also been on my Wantlist for so long. I can't remember really when I saw it, but this is Joe and Donnie Emerson, Dreaming Wild 1979. It's like yeah, it's definitely prog and psychedelic. It's freaky out there and so cool. Very, very weird record. So check it out before you, pull the trigger. But I guess you don't pull the trigger on a €100+ record if you haven't really listened to it. Anyways, this has been on my Wantlist for so long. It's an awesome record. Wish I can find one of those these days. Next one is Shugi Otis, Inspiration Information from 74. And I never see this in Sweden. I've seen the other two, his first one and the second one, purple one. I can't remember what that's called now. But and that the purple one I have. But yeah, this one is a little bit rarer, I think, than the other ones. And as I said, I never see it here in Sweden, so I have to buy it out in Europe or even import it from the US if I want one. So maybe, fingers crossed. This is also one, I think, when I started adding my stuff to Discogs, this is one of the first Wantlist items that I added there. This is Kenny Wheeler's Windmill Tilter from 69 on Fontana. And it has John McLaughlin on it playing great. And I think I've seen a couple of copies online selling for too much money, really. So I haven't really got the opportunity to buy it. I didn't think it was worth it anyway. So yeah. Okay, so this is the only Swedish record really on my Wantlist I'm going to show you today. I skipped the Swedish stuff, but this is high on my Wantlist because it's so iconic. This is Frippe Nordström's Natural Music 1968 on Bird Note Records, his own private label. Free jazz saxophonist, insane. He released Albert Eiler's first recording on his Bird Note Records. And this is, not me, but someone could do an entire video on just this LP alone. There's a bunch of different recordings, but they all have the same cover, and the label. So the only way to see which one of the ones you have is to check the matrix number. And I don't think that anyone knows exactly all of the pressings. I think Mats Gustafsson is the closest one to really catalog it, but I don't know. So it's, both for the historical sort of importance but also the sort of the quirkiness of the pressing and the entire record. I want it so bad, but it's super expensive. This is the newest one. It's The Age of Reason, with the title of it is Reason 1969, and this is so good. It's good. Check it out. But it's also very expensive. This is one that I found, I think, by reading Acid Archives or something like that. But this is one of the latest ones that I added to the Wantlist. And out of 1,300 records that I have on there, it went straight up to top 30. This is one, I don't know why I haven't bought this already, but this is Stormcloak by Roy Harper, and actually it's going down pretty a little bit in price nowadays than when I started looking for it maybe 7, 8, 9 years ago. It costs a little bit less. He did a reissue of this on his own label, so maybe that's why. But it doesn't sound that good, and I really want the first press. One of the earliest ones on. At least so with the gatefold cover, that would be so sweet. It's such a good record. Pharaoh Sanders, Karma 1968-9. This is also one that slipped through my fingers so many times, and I've been outbid. And just one day I'm getting one of these, and I want an early impulse version of it. So Bubble Puppy, A Gathering of Promises, 1969. Heavy psych, just so good. And there's plenty of them out there, so this is definitely something that I could get this year, maybe. Demon Fuzz, Africa, 1970 on Janus Records. This has also been on my wantlist for so long. I have a reissue, and it's one of the best records ever. It's so good, but yeah, hard to get, it seems. I've been close a couple of times, but yeah. Another one also been on my want list for so long, Bob Smith, The Visit, 1970 on Kent Records. It seems like a psych folk record that is pretty common. You see it sometimes, and I know Seek, the Geek, has a copy of this. This is actually also one of the newest ones. This is the Surprise Package, Free Up 1968 on LAIH Records, Lee Hazelwood's record company. I think maybe it's the sort of the heaviest one. I saw Matt Sands and the Psych Professor that they did now with and so it's from their latest video, or if it's the one before, that I noticed it. I sampled it online and it went to the want list right away. Okay, so this is Karen Dalton's first record. It's hard to tell who's gonna love you the best, 1968 on Capitol. Just very hard to get and super expensive. So it's gonna be a tough one, really. But it's I think it's the best one. And they did a reissue of this record store day, or last year's record store day. So it's out there, but I want the original. Don't we all? Okay, so my biggest want, like right now, my absolute biggest want. I think so. It's even a bigger want than Comus. This is Fussy Duck, and I noticed this. I've had it on my want list very long. Like this is a monster record, but it's so good. It's so damn good. I can't stop playing it digitally, and I don't want a reissue. I want this, the original press, and it's super expensive, but it's shit. I want it. I really want it. I'm willing to like let a lot of my records go just to get this. So if you don't know it, check it out. It's better than the cover, and the cover is awesome. This is another one that I've seen thousands of times. Not thousands of times, but maybe 50. This is Ultimate Spinach, Beholden Sea, 1968 on MGM Records. Classic prog rocker, heavy rocker. I don't know. It's hard for me with the labels. Anyway, classic one. Yeah, I need it. Top 5 maybe, Red Hash, 73. This is acid folk. Have the reissue. It's I don't know what to say. It's one of the best, like one of the best records ever. I love it. I love this record. It's so good. Red Hash. Also maybe top 5. I think I've outdone my top 5 now, but this is also pretty new. Like maybe 2 years. It's been on my want list for 2 years. This is Emily. And I know that Ben Costello has one of these. So I'm thinking of buying a plane ticket when Corona is over and go over there and just steal this from his collection. There's a Japanese press also, but Emily was just 16 years old when she released this, or at least recorded it, and it was only released in France for some reason. English folk, but released on Pathé Records. Very hard to get, but there's not a single bad song on there. It's the most beautiful, like, female folk record you could ever hear, and look at that cover. Looks like a Stanley Kubrick sort of horror movie, doesn't it? Fantastic. So Ben Costello, beware, I'm coming to get it. Also one that's been on my want list since I started adding stuff there. Art Ensemble of Chicago, People in Sorrow, 69. Yeah, it's not a hard record to get. It's just like I'm waiting for that sweet deal. Frumpy 2, this is also, it's been there for so long, and I bid on it and got outbid and stuff like that. It's a gimmick cover, so you fold it out. It's a lot of folds, the cover artwork. But the music is fantastic, and there's a bunch of different pressings on this, colored pressings. And it doesn't matter which one I get. But one day, hopefully, this is in my possession. One that I didn't have, Magma. I mean, 1970, this is I should own this. I should have this in my collection. And it's not expensive. I'm just waiting for the right moment to just get the original press of this. The best, maybe not the best, but definitely one of the best prog records in Scandinavia is Culpeper's Orchid. So obviously I want this one, original press. I know Nico has had a copy for sale, but it's expensive, and I don't know. I have to do a trade thing with it, and yeah. So one day, Saint Stephen 1969 on Probe. I have a reissue of this, also a Psych Monster. Unfortunately, the last couple of years, 3-4 years maybe, it's gone up in price. So today it's a 70-80 euro record, and when I started looking for it, it was like 30. So I don't understand why I didn't just buy it back then, but I'm an idiot. Can Space Shanty on Deram 1972. So an early pressing of this would I would be fine with an early pressing of this. So this high up on my want list, really want it. And competing about the first place really is Combs' First Utterance from 71 on Dawn Records. And I mean, I'm gonna get this. This is one I could probably buy for a lot of money. Like take actual cash and just shove in there. But I'm just waiting for the right moment, really. And hopefully I can do a trade for it with someone or a shop one day. But oh shit, I need this. And no surprise here, Affinity on Vertigo. There's a bunch of pressing. I don't need a UK. I am fine with the German press of this, but it wouldn't be nice to have the big swirl. I know the French press doesn't have the big swirl. It has the small swirl and text on both sides of the label. But the German press, I would be fine with that, but it's still very hard to get. And such a great record. And this comes as no surprise to anyone, I think. An unpeeled banana, just with Velvet Underground. Doesn't matter. I think they did them 3-4 years, and it doesn't have to be the torso or anything like that. Just an unpeeled early pressing. I'm fine with that, Funkadelic Megaplay 1971, also high up on my want list. One of the best records ever, right? And everyone knows this. The best guitar solo or guitar jamming ever recorded. It's just great. And the last one, and this is, I'm gonna slaughter the name now, Archangel. I think it was released in 1971, and there's also I don't need the first press. I just need an early press of this. And there's a bunch of different color variations of the cover and stuff like that. So purple or blue, it doesn't matter. So yeah, that's it. That's my top want list right now, 2020, January of 2020. And next week it would be a total different one, and last month it was another one. But I thought that maybe it's going to be a pretty cool video to do, and if not, you get a glimpse in what music I'm really looking for right now and listen to. And I mean, obviously I think that every one of these 30 plus records I showed you are fantastic. So if you haven't heard them, check them out. Talk to you soon. Bye.